It's been alleged that leaders of the ruling All Progressive Congress have begun talks with prominent members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, with the aim of getting them to defect to the ruling party ahead of the 2023 presidential elections. It was gathered that former Minister of Aviation Chief Femi Fani-Kayode had met with the Caretaker Chairman of the APC, Mai Mala Buni, and Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State about the politics of 2023. Well, joining us to discuss this is the Deputy Spokesperson of the People's Democratic Party, Diran Odeyemi. It's good to have you join us, Mr. Diran.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm happy to be with you tonight.
Well, let's start with the main person in the picture, talking about FFK, that's Mr. Femi Fani-Kayode, who's a very controversial person. Last year, he was caught in a very controversial video where he was having an altercation with a pressman in Government House in Cross River State. And this was happening in the middle of his tour. He was taking a tour to different states across the country. And the reason why this altercation happened, I'm just trying to refresh the memories of those who are watching, was because a pressman asked a question as to who was funding this tour that he was taking on himself, because it would cost a lot of money and he was doing press briefings. And of course, I'm guessing that the next question would have been, why were you doing this tour as per you were not a member of the sitting government? Could all of this have been going on pointing to what he's doing today, being that he's trying to leave the party? And why do you think that FFK wants to leave the PDP for the APC?
As at the time you are talking to me this night, I can't say categorically that I believe that FFK is ready to leave PDP. As a brother, as a friend, I put a call through to him to ask direct questions, but he has not responded. But I want to believe that he's just catching his phone. You know FFK now. FFK is just a man who loves to be seen and to be heard all the time.
Really?
So I don't want to believe that he's planning to join APC until he makes that declaration openly. Only then can we react as a political party if indeed he wants to go. But at the time of speaking with you today, I don't see any reason and I don't see any cause for alarm. So he's just catching his phone, and it's so unfortunate that when he sneezes, the press and the whole Nigerian catches their cold. So I don't know why it is so. So to me,
I'm really interested in how
anybody does not, it's not an indication that you want to leave PDP.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised that you're taking this very casually, because, you know, we saw him in a photograph with two other people who belong to another political party. And I'm not saying that, you know, because these people belong to different political parties, they cannot be found in the same room. But we all know what is happening in the country. People are positioning themselves and repositioning themselves for 2023. So it's either that this is true, or it is that these other two persons are trying to come over to your party. But I ask again, what is the position or the status of FFK in your party as we speak? Is he a registered member? Is he holding any office right now in his state? Is he a party stalwart or a chieftain in his state? Or is he just one of those members who you feel, if he decides tomorrow to leave, he could leave? I want you to state this categorically.
As a member of PDP from Osun State, before I become the national officer of the party, and I can tell you categorically that FFK is not a registered member of PDP in Osun State. We don't have his name in our register. But that is not to say that he cannot be a member in Abuja, or he has not been a member, being a former minister. But as far as we are concerned in Osun State, Ife being his base, being his local government, I'm sure his name is not on the register there. So FFK is a national figure, having been a minister in the Obasanjo administration. And because of his name, you know, his father was, you know, a former deputy premier of the Western region. He's known, but when you are talking of membership, when you are talking of holding a position, as far as PDP is concerned today, is just a member of the party, a prominent member of the party, but not a registered member in Osun State, but a member of the party. He's not holding any political post. He's not holding any party post. Let me put it that way.
Interesting. There's also been reports that the governors who, the 4 governors whose identities have not been disclosed to the public, who might leave the PDP for the APC, reportedly, are unhappy as to the fact that they have not necessarily been able to control the structure of the parties in their states. And so while these governors are waiting, reportedly, to move to the APC, I mean, again, we have not been able to get the identities of these governors, and the reasons is because they're waiting for the APC to be able to assure them that they can also have power over the party structures in the state. So I put it to you, sir. Why are governors unable to be the leaders, not just in name of their parties in the state, but able to handle or have power over the party structure in their states? And if this is the case, is this in alliance, or rather, is this in tandem with your party's constitution?
You are asking me an hypothetical question. If, because in this discussion, you have not mentioned a single governor that is not happy with PDP. And you have not mentioned a single governor that is planning to defect to APC. And as far as we are concerned, we believe no governor in PDP will want to go to APC because of what is happening in APC now. Do you want to convince me that APC is better than PDP? Far from it. Ordinary membership registration, you know the crisis that is following them. The security of average citizens in this country, you know, it's a failure. Infrastructure, they are failed. So what will entice any governor, any sitting governor for PDP?
Well, I can think of one. There's no APC person in the studio to defend themselves, so I'll play the devil's advocate. I can think of one. They're the party in power as we speak, so that is a plus for anybody who wants to move to the APC.
Can you repeat the question?
Well, you were asking what would make anybody want to go to the APC, and I could think of one, yes, which is that they are the party in power. And they, of course, that's a plus for anybody who wants to move. Now, you're wondering why any other person would want to move from your party, but let's not forget, the former speaker, Yakubu Dogara, just recently moved from your party to the APC again, and you have asked that his seat be vacated. So I'm wondering, as you're pointing fingers to the APC that they have problems here and there, so does the PDP, but somebody thought it wise to move to the APC. So I'm wondering also to myself, what did he see? But then he's there.
I don't see any reason why any governor would want to move to APC. People who have been moving to APC in the past always use the issue of EFCC. Perhaps they are avoiding the AFCC chasing them after leaving governance for when they are there, trying to befriend the government of the day. But as it is now, in the Nigerian of which we have today, we don't agree and we don't see any governor in PDP that wants to move to APC. Until that is done, that is the only time we can make a comment on that.
Interesting. As at today, an APC chieftain, let's go back to FFK, Dr. Salihu Usman was quoted to say that Fani-Kayode moving or coming to the APC was disturbing. And you have also, in one verse, told me that he's not necessarily registered in your state, which means that, well, he could be registered somewhere else. But you're saying, you know, he might go, he might not go. But the APC is also, on the other hand, saying he probably isn't welcomed. Well, maybe Salihu is speaking for himself. But what does this mean for FFK on his own? Are you really bothered as a party, or can I take your casual sense or body language to mean that you wouldn't be bothered if the FFK moved to the APC?
If APC are saying that he is not welcome in their party, and he has not declared, and we are telling you that as far as we are concerned, he's not holding any post in PDP as of today. We can only wait until he makes that declaration and we now know what official statement that will follow.
So
But
I'm
it's a
asking a
good
direct
news
question,
to
sir.
us
I want to ask
that he has not.
I'm asking a direct question. You would not miss a
Yes,
Fani-Kayode if you were to leave today. In other words, he means nothing to your party. I mean, this is one person you would not mind losing in the PDP.
that is if. I would rather wait until he makes this
It's a yes or
declaration
no
before I answer
question.
that.
Would it matter to
If
the
it's
party?
hypothetical.
Would it matter to the
Until he
party?
leaves, I may not be able to answer that. Let him leave first. Then I'll be able to tell you we have missed an asset or we're happy to see it going.
Let's talk about the party healing. Let's talk about the PDP. I decided that, we're going to put the PDP on the hot seat today. As parties are realigning, of course, the APC has its issues. The PDP is having its own issues. We know that the Southwest had finally chosen Governor Makinde of Oyo State to represent or lead the Southwest. There are people who are offended by this. We know that there's a fire shade somewhere who's also aggrieved. There are cracks in your party. What is the headquarters, the national of the PDP, doing to heal all of these factions, to deal with all of these issues, to make sure that you do not lose more and more people in your party to the opposition come 2023?
I want you to agree with me that there is no way there will not be crisis in any political party at any particular time. Once you are aspiring for a position, you are bound to see people, contesting it with you. And that is what you call crisis. But in our own case, we see it as a kind of a family affair. And I want to put it on record that as I'm talking to you right now, nobody is disputing the leadership of Governor Seyi Makinde. All what we are saying is Governor Seyi Makinde must recognize there are other leaders. Governor Fayose, being a governor for 80 years in Ekiti State, serving under 3 presidents, cannot be a pushover. We need his experience and, of course, his expertise in leadership. And that is what is happening in the Southwest now. There are skirmishes here and there, and the National Set Up a Reconciliation Committee, headed by former Senate President Dr. Olusola Saraki, to see to what is going on, not only in the Southwest, but everywhere in the country. And, we are waiting for their intervention. But right now, there's no crisis. We are still going about the campaign and issue in such a way that we still see ourselves as being under the same umbrella, the same political party.
Well, we want to thank you very much, Mr. Diran, for speaking with us. We appreciate your thoughts on the show. Diran is the Deputy Spokesperson of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right, we'll take a short break now and see what Nigerians have to say about the readiness of political parties come 2023. And right after that, I will give you my take.
We have the PDP and also have the APC. So other political parties in Nigeria are just there to play. So if we're a serious nation, we should just restructure Nigeria so that we have just 2 parties in Nigeria, so that others will go and join APC or PDP. And the issue of our politicians moving from one party to the other should be stopped. If you're APC, you remain APC till you die, or you resign from opposition.
I don't think they are ready yet. I think there's still a lot to be done. But the way we do things in this country anyway, probably a year to the election, I believe things will start picking up. But for now, no, I don't think so.
You see, the political parties, they are not ready, to be sincere, because when you look at the APC, that is the ruling party now, they are in disarray. They are not holding their bearings. There are so many factions there. They are in trouble. So for them to come out and say they are ready for 2023 election, they are deceiving Nigerians. You understand? And then the PDP themselves too, they are there with their own problems. So I don't think that 2023 will be a reality for election, because Nigerians, they are not ready.
I'm not sure they are ready for now. They are not sure. They are not ready. The situation surrounding them It's just for them that they don't know precisely who and who they can trust among the cabals in the politics. So the only thing we youth needs to do is just for us to come together and unite and get something that trust on somebody that we know we can do it, but not these people. They are not even ready at all for it.
Well, I don't know about the political parties, but as for me, I'm ready to switch over to the next party. We are done. We are so tired.
Here's my take. I've said this before and I'll say it again. We're a reactionary country. Instead of being proactive, again, instead of addressing issues from the root cause of it, we try to color it and paint over it. Now, we have an issue of herders versus farmers. Instead of dealing with it, we have gradually politicized it and have now made it seem like some sort of a tribal crisis. Can we call a spade, really? If there be people hiding behind certain means of livelihood to cause havoc or menace, fish them out and let the law deal with them. If they're giving a certain group of people a bad name, the group needs to speak up and disassociate themselves from these rogue persons. Until we stop being sentimental about security issues in Nigeria, we probably will not ever achieve the results that we desire. Now, as for our politicians, crisscrossing parties is nothing new. Nigeria's political ecosystem will only begin to make sense when our political parties adopt clear-cut ideologies and stick to them. Until then, it's just nothing but the same old boys' club with different flags and different jerseys. I'm Mariana Cole, thanking you for watching.